Let's jump on in with Surfwizard. We are ready for losers bracket. This is our round 3 losers. And we have, like I said, Sephoris versus Surfwizard or Deranged Dan versus Surfwizard, depending on what you're looking at. And just one moment. I gotta jump back in and out because we do have a minor graphical error there where the names are just staying up, so we'll watch Surfwizard again. Okay. Yeah, rejoin generally fixes it. Alright, now we're alright. So we've got Yetis versus Combray is what we're sitting at. And this Yeti deck, if you think that Yetis are just for fun, hold on to your butts, because Deranged Dan's Yeti deck has done a lot of work this tournament in an incredible way. Essentially, if it gets Thudrock, or if it gets Wump, look out. Because if it can actually get the Sight or Wump and pump up its units, it's despicable very, very quickly. Interesting attack from Sephoris here. So, oh, we're going to see it because it's going to be trading with the Initiate anyways. And then torching that. Wow, what a sick series of plays. That's really good. And, I mean, Sephoris can't know this, but that sets Surfwizard back to turn 6 now. That's such a disgusting turn. So if Sephoris has anything else cheap to follow that up with, this could be real bad. And we see it top very quickly. Oh, but Knight Chancellor comes down. Alright. So this is still good. And we also see the Defiance held up. So, well, we saw Sephoris get ahead last time. Now we have a Defiance on Surfwizard's side. And that could be a lot more problematic. I imagine it's going to pick up the Yeti here. Yeah. But that's not as bad. Like, it's not a blowout. Because I was being much more worried about, like, attacking with the Blurreechaser, hoping to get, like, a torch off, and then having Defiance get it before it does that, and just getting blown away by that kind of a thing. Or Defiance getting it before, like, a pump spell comes in. Alright. And Chunk just getting in for a little bit of damage. This Mystic Ascendant is going to find a way into play. One of the weaknesses of a Yeti-style deck is that it doesn't necessarily have a hard answer to some of the larger units. It has to double up on things like torches, because Permafrosts don't necessarily matter for what Mystic Ascendant is actually doing, right? Like, you might be able to race it damage-wise, but ultimately that's still going to be a pretty big issue a lot of the time. Ice Bolt can do it, yep. There are some answers, but it's one of those things where a lot of the larger units are a little bit tougher for the Yeti-style decks or like any kind of Skycrag deck to deal with things. And we'll just have to see what's going on Sephoris' side. Which is why 4 toughness is just a really big bonus against these kinds of aggro decks. A little bit of a hurdle. Shutting down torches as actual hard removal is a big thing. Ooh. And we actually see Torch come down here for Mystic Ascendant. So there we go. Howling Peak Smuggler, one of the ways to break through that. But Seraph is still around. So still have a bit of a problem here for our Yeti friend. And this is Bizarre Trickster, so it'll be, not Bizarre, Bazaar Trickster. Be able to silence some units here. Unfortunately, that's just real large. Enjoying the show? Yes. We have another top, maybe? Force is thinking about this one a little bit more. Putting that one on the bottom this time. It feels like Sephoris really desperately needs one of like their game-changing cards, like a Wump. But I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it. And Surfwizard, I'm pretty sure, wouldn't mind just drawing a bunch of power. They're stuck here now where they're kind of in a position... There's nothing bad that they can do, but like Knight Chancellor or Obelisk, like what do you want to do a little bit more? Oh wow, and they actually trade away an Obelisk to get the Obelisk down with another power card. So they actually traded for out of the market for a power card just to make sure that they had 8. Which I don't think is incorrect at all, like, but it just kind of shows what I was talking about, where there's almost too many good things in Surfwizard's hands. Surfwizard just wants more power cards. Ooh, and here's Scouting Party. That's one of those things where a Wump really changes how broken that is. Because right now, I mean, 4 1/1s is certainly not bad, but if you have a Wump in play and they deal damage immediately, and so you just draw 4 more cards, that can get really mean very quickly. And now we've got Embargo Officer coming down, so there's no more things coming out of the market. Ooh, and we have some stuns. So we could have actually seen it exhaust Seraph, but instead, it looks like Sephoris is just going to go for the pure damage and just try and get as many Yetis in here as possible. It does draw Sephoris 3 cards, and deals a little bit of extra damage, so I can certainly see why it would be tempting to do that. Just the thing to remember that Seraph, if it does get Permafrosted, or if it does get, like, stun-locked, it can't actually use its ability. It has to exhaust. Marison is super bad news, especially as a 12-18, because that just pumps out units every turn. And, yeah, ain't no number of torches that you can combine to make Marison go away when it's 12-18. These rolls off of Seraph have been very, very, very strong. Yeah, the Permafrost is good. It was a great hit to try and stop that Seraph, but it's 1 turn too late. And I don't know that there's going to be an answer out of this. Because that is just a lot of value that's every turn. Got Surfwizard to 11. It's those last 11 points, though, that are going to be very hard to deal with. Sephoris, very deep in thought here. I'm thinking they might have, like, another torch. And be... Oh. Or was that Surfwizard's turn? Maybe it was Surfwizard and I was mistaken? Or did they pass and then Surfwizard was just that fast? I feel like they have something like a torch, but they're just debating on whether or not to kill something like the Locusts or whether or not to go face with it. Okay. We get some stuns, but like, there's just not enough that's happening here. If you attack in with everything, there's still 4 blockers, so you're going to end up losing... Like, you only deal 4 damage. So yeah, I don't really see a way out of this. And then Seraph number 2, the other Seraph, comes around. The sister from another mister. Her evil twin, Seraph 2.0. Oh, and there's the Wump, which feels too late. We might see, though, I mean, there is going to be some shifted units coming in here. If there's a little bit of burn from Sephoris, that might be enough to push it over. Because it's a really tight board. If Sephoris can find enough burn, or like another couple of units that shift, there might be something. I mean, obviously this is going to die. And yeah, it's being pointed out to me, rightly so, that Bizarre Trickster can actually shut down the Wump. That's if it's remembered. I had kind of forgotten about it. It did get randomed off of the Seraph, so it's pretty easy to forget those kind of abilities. So we'll have to see if that's actually a thing that gets fully remembered here. Yeah, there we go. And that even kills off the Blurreechaser.
Join the show?
Oof. Big oof turn here. And we've got to see something start going sideways now. Only the Howling Kirtar. I would have expected to see a couple more things, because if you make trades, then Marison's still active. You can still use your Seraph again. But maybe just worried that, like, Sephoris doesn't block and what that crackback could look like. So just really careful play here by Surfwizard. Surprised that Sephoris hasn't scooped them up, because that Bazaar Trickster just feels like such a nail in the coffin here. And there we go. Yeah, I had enough power to make it a 2-turn clock. But in the market there's actually nothing like a Flame Blast in the market. I remember there not being one, but I just wanted to double check. There's actually Meltdown, Char, Polymorph. We'll show you in just a moment. So there wasn't an end game that could have really happened there. So we'll show the market here. All right, perfect. We've got all the cards. Things look good. All right, and the names go away. So yeah, it's Meltdown, Char, Polymorph, Scouting Party, and a Cobalt coin. So really no way to have gotten a big Flame Blast off and kill Surfwizard in a single blow. We get an early Camp Surveyor here from Sephoris. And yeah, snap bottom very, very easily. This is a great hand, though. Wump is terrifying. Oh, wow, and double Wump is doubly so. Double Wump with Scouting Party can get nasty very quickly. And we also see, I mean, Sephoris has 4 power already. Scouting Party's on the menu. Like,
safe travels.
That's not that far away. And honestly, just getting Wump into Wump. Oh no, Bam afterwards? Okay, so Bam and Wump together are particularly mean. So you play Wump, and then whenever you get another Yeti down, it deals 1 damage to the enemy player, and all of your other Yetis have +1/+1. The big thing is the dealing the damage, because if you play Bam afterwards, then whenever it attacks, you get a 1/1 Yeti Spy. So Bam comes in, deals the damage, you attack with Bam, it makes a Yeti Spy, deals the damage, and that Yeti Spy's Infiltrate goes off and draws you cards. So every attack that you get with Bam just draws you a card, which is so mean. And there's a second Bam. Oh, I feel like this game will go a lot differently than our last one. And it's gotta be a Bam here. I have to think that it's Bam, because then you can slam Wump and Permafrost and just start drawing cards. The turn afterwards, you just want to start getting attacks in. And you get the Wump Wump Bam Bam. Yeah. Wump Wump Bam Bam, thank you, ma'am. Give me those spies. Ooh, and Surfwizard just holding back. We know Surfwizard has Defiance, but that doesn't really deal with Bam. All it does is stop it from getting an attack in, like as actual damage, but it just stuns it, which honestly not a big deal here, right? Ooh, stand together to eat the 2/5 though. That's cute. So now we have a 5/4. And are we going to see a second Bam? That could certainly make a lot of sense. It was possible, I think that if Wump comes down, then there was a mild play mistake where Wump could have come down before combat, and it would have A, saved the Camp Surveyor, and B, let this deal 2 damage. Which isn't a big deal, but, you know, every point of damage counts here for sure. We saw how close the last game was. So yeah, I think that like, Bam had to kind of be the choice. Oh, but it's a shifted Bam, so we're going to see something going for the market here. That's definitely an interesting one. I kind of like playing Bam unshifted to just keep getting attacks in, but obviously, Pearl Abbey Smuggler is just going to grow kind of out of proportion of that really, really fast. There needs to be another answer for it soon. They can go for the Char out of the market with Howling Peak Smuggler and then Permafrost it. So that's certainly an option. And I could see that happening. I think that you want to probably change Blurreechaser if you do that. And in fact, they can stop it right now. Shineefinder can also remove the Aegis here. Yeah, and it'll pop Aegis currently. We're about to have this Bam come out from underneath the stun. And we have the Permafrost. So we've got set up for a really large turn here. Surfwizard needs some good blocks. Surfwizard has 5 cards in hand, though, and a lot of big dumb idiots in their deck. So I would not be surprised if they have the good block. We'll just have to see. Although, that's not what we wanted from Surfwizard. If you're a Surfwizard, that's not what you needed. But there it is. That's what you did need. A second stand together. Oh, and this is just showing how incredibly mean old stand together was before Vara really kind of nerfed how it just Aegis worked in general, thanks to the meta having to adapt around her. Like, it's so busted. It just pumps your entire team and stops all of the removal. So rough here. We're going to see the Polymorph come down so we can try another turn. But Surfwizard has another stand together or more units here. It could certainly still be an issue. Avalanche Yeti is a good answer in a lot of ways too, because there can be a lockdown here. Alright, no more stand togethers. Bam's coming in, drawing some more cards.
Got you.
Yeah, at least with Expedition, you're not allowed to have 8 copies or 12 copies of Stand Together in your deck like you used to when you had access to 8 different merchants. So in this one, you can only have Smugglers, so you really are kind of limited on how many copies you can have, which is kind of nice. Because we are, in fact, in an Expedition. Yeah, and Surfwizard is really far behind now. That Polymorph finally getting through. This is Sephoris playing down a Blurreechaser for another point of damage. And, I mean, Surfwizard needs a board clear. And there it is! Oh, they searched up the Harsh Rule early on and knew it was coming. But it's not over, because Wump is still in play. Sephoris still has one. It's a blowout, but it's not the end of the game. Now we've got to wonder, though, I was going to say, how many things has Surfwizard been sandbagging, waiting for this Harsh Rule to happen? And into the market, Surfwizard goes. I can see, I probably think Thudrock's Masterwork and Snowball the Pearl Abbey, Permafrost, Seraph is the line here. That seems like the line I would go for. The big question is, do you attack with your Wump into a possible Defiance? And that's a tougher question. You know that in the market, Surfwizard's not going to have Defiance. Surfwizard has the main deck, so it can't be in the market. So it's dicey to know, right? It would have to be the last card. And there's the Killing Wind. Sephoris just really desperately needs to find a power card here. So much so that I'm pretty sure they need to bottom that torch. They don't, though. They keep the torch. Honestly, I kind of don't like that. I think it would have been better to bottom the torch there and just try and hit another power card. Although, nope, they're still going to keep it on top. Alright. Sephoris needs to stay alive long enough to get Thudrock down off of this, because if you can get Thudrock off of his Masterwork, Thudrock will deal a lot here. It's a real big problem for Surf. Okay, and that has to be the bottom. There we go. So now we've got power cards ready for Sephoris, which they desperately need. This Avalanche Yeti is where we're going. And now we're going to see, does Surfwizard have a Defiance? And I think, yeah, this is the smart play. Because now if Defiance happens, it's got to happen here. Perfect. And if it does happen here, then you, or here then you can still lethal, right? If they go for the Wump, then you actually have lethal. If they go for the 8-2, well, that's fine. You get to keep your Wump. Alright, perfect. Really tight games, though. Really, really close, and just fantastically played by both players. I really liked a lot of the lines that we saw Sephoris go for there. And I love that sandbag forever of that harsh rule from Surf. Surf did a great job of sandbagging that for a really long time. Uh-oh. Are they also having problems? Yeah, no, we're still... Definitely a bug. Jump back in, and now it will be okay. Alright, there we are. Surfwizard starting off with Initiate, which is a very strong play for these combo decks. We saw it earlier with Celtic Stack, too. Any of the time decks, they can get an Initiate early. They get real gross real fast. There's a lot of removal in Surfwizard's hand this time. Wow. This is a real issue. And we actually see an early Avalanche Yeti come down from Sephoris, just because of the pressure that we're getting here from Surfwizard. Sephoris might be stuck on power. It looks like that's probably the case. Although, ooh, there we go. It's Thudrock's Masterwork. And we're going to see a Snowball kill off one of these Initiates for sure. Because you can't let this many early Seraphs go. And god, there's another Seraph in Surfwizard's hand, though. That is incredibly nasty. A really fast Porcelain Mask. I kind of expected Night Chancellor, but it makes a lot of sense. And we'll see what that hit. We don't actually get to see it right away when we're spectating. So that could easily have hit, and we just don't necessarily know. And here comes one Defiance. Surfwizard's going to have a real hard time playing around all of them. Because at a certain point, you just have to expect there's not going to be another Defiance. Ooh, they're contemplating Torch. Surfwizard is stuck low. They looked over that Initiate, so I've got to imagine that's like... It can't be Char. Char exists in Sephoris' market. Nope. Alright. Deciding not to go for it. Would have been punished. We saw it earlier being a smart play, but it would have definitely been an issue here. There's the Torch. Okay. It shows the difference, because earlier we saw Initiate get annihilated right away by Lazy Minerva, and that absolutely changed the flow of the game. And this time, it would have happened, and we'd have still seen a Valkyrie Enforcer or a Night Chancellor Seraph come down, and that would have still been pretty backbreaking for Surfwizard. So it's kind of interesting the way that that changes just based on, like, what your top decks for power are, where it's a really high-risk, high-reward maneuver. God, this is... I feel bad for Sephoris on this one, because what do you do here? It just gotta feel so bad to run in Defiance after Defiance. However, Thudrock is gonna come out. Surfwizard doesn't have a way to stop that. Because Wump comes down first. That Wump is incredibly well timed. Because now we're going to see a 3-3 Snowman. Wump comes into play, and... Oh, sorry, Thudrock comes into play and deals damage to the Snowball. And immediately gets a Snowman. Sorry, and it's a 3-3 Snowman that becomes a 4-4 thanks to Thudrock's Masterwork. It'll now be a 5-5 once this hits. That Wump curve was... exactly what was needed. So a really good series of draws here from Sephoris. Because we know, too, that it was top decks. Because Porcelain Mask would have gotten that Wump otherwise. So some very strong draws on Sephoris' side. And we're just waiting for them to decide if they want to use, like, a Torch or something in the meantime. It's a little bit of wait. Might have been that Sephoris didn't really realize that it was their turn. Like, they were holding priority for a fast spell. Oof. Surfwizard is 1 power away. But I don't know if that's enough to hold on. Getting down some of the Seraph tokens will be huge. But in the meantime, how much damage are they going to take? They can stop the Thudrock. They have the Defiance. They can kill the Snowman here if they feel like it. Decide not to go for it. Alright. We have Seraph online. I think you have to go for it. Okay, Shatterglass is large. Oh, wow, yeah, here's the Yeti scouting party. Not attacking first, I think, is a little bit of a mistake here. Sephoris might have just been very, very happy to get it and a little over eager. Because you could have attacked first and tried to trade off some. Because there is actually 4 that you make, and you'd be able to draw a few extra cards. So just something to remember. But I think that it was just like, Sephoris was so happy to get that down because it's such a big swing here. And yeah, if I'm Sephoris, I'm willing to throw away a lot of units now and just start slamming in. Yeah, and this is why waiting a little bit to play that post-combat might have been the thing to do. -4 on the... Ooh. I think Sephoris mistook where those were going. And so we get a minor problem here. And that would have actually been lethal as well. I think that Sephoris is still good. I don't see a way out of this for Surfwizard. Yeah. But a couple of just like, maybe just over-eager misplays right at the end. That being said, when you've got an overwhelming board position, you can afford to do that a little bit. Well played by both players for sure.